Will Show has everything you want to know. Keep up everything about sports so you gon' catch his flow. Never be low. Check it every day, cause he gonna upload. You gonna be happy, cause you call his flow. Talking, he gonna make you even wanna talk. Might even get inspired, take it for a walk. Listen to his voice, yeah, you have a choice. But if you don't listen, you gonna be lost. Catch your attention like Randy Moss. Share it like you really just did a toss. Kick your feet up, enjoy the show like you a boss. He's gonna make you happy so you don't worry. Like and subscribe and join the ride. Not from Alabama, but we stay roll tide. Shows every night, so you better slide. Hit the nutty zone to be on our side. It's the what? It's the what? It's the Will Show.
It's the Will Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing on this Taco Tuesday? What's going on? What's going on, Don? Hold on, man. Let me do it right. You know I have to do it right. I have to do it right. The Will Show featuring Will I Am and the Don. What's going on, the Don? How you doing today?
What's going on? All right. It's been a long day, I'll tell you that. But hey, another day on the Wheel Show. Why not? 54 Sports Network.
Hey, I like that. I like that. That's big time. Like I said, it's Taco Tuesday, but also it's another banger. We've been rocking and rolling for almost 3 weeks now, with interviews, and we got an oldie but goodie that decided to bless us on the Will Show, and actually, it's his first time on the Will Show. He's been on the Mark and Will Show, but this is the first time on the Will Show, 54 Sports Network, all that good stuff. But before we get to the interview, let me let you guys in on a little something. This is where you're going to find us at 54 Sports Network. We're talking about Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, You Don't Stop, X, YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, all that good stuff. Come on now. Go ahead and do it. So after the show, we'll go ahead and download everything to Spotify for the people who, just want to listen and all that kind of stuff. But, you got to see this because you got to see facial expressions because I'm telling you, it's going to be a good one like always, man. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the Facebook page. All that. We got some good stuff that's coming on. Yesterday, had a great interview with Raymond Cornish. If you missed that J-Town quarterback, shame on you. Shame on you, dude. Plays every position known
Utility.
To man. Big time. Man. So, and tomorrow, we got a male bulldog that's going to be in the house. And, of course, on Thursday, it's back. We're back. The No Cap High School Football Show. Yep, it's going to be on Thursday. So we're going to preview this season. So we're going to rock and roll with the Louisville teams in the surrounding counties. And on Sunday, we're just breaking this out, 11 o'clock a.m. live on Sunday, we're going to have the recap show. So we're going to break down the results, what happened Friday and Saturday. And you just never know where we may be. I think we may drop some hints probably either tomorrow or Thursday, but we're going to be in a house at somebody's place and taking pictures and all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, I mean, this is FAMO. This is FAMO. The Will Show got Coach Roberts, North Oldham High School, head football coach. I don't know. Maybe I gave it away a little bit, Coach, that he was going to be on here. I don't know. But what's going on, Coach Roberts? How you doing?
I'm just blessed to be back on here with you guys. Like I said, I always appreciate having you. And I tell you what, you look good in that teal and black, Will.
I've been trying to get it.
That North Oldham hat looks real good on you.
I've been trying, and I'm going to tell you what. My brother, Coach Roberts, came through. He came through and got me. And don't worry, we're going to get the Don together. We're going to get them together because we're going to take a trip.
I got one for him, most definitely.
I would say that we're going to make sure because we're going to be in the house. I don't know. We're going to look at that schedule, and we're going to be in the house in North Oldham. That's going to be so much fun. But, Coach, let's get rocking and rolling. So let's do it this way. Football season starts Friday. You guys already doing scrimmages. How has the scrimmages gone so far for you?
I think that we have performed well in our scrimmages. I think that one thing that we've really emphasized or stressed over the offseason is we have to implement the run game. We have to get our run game up to par, and I think that we have shown that in our 2 scrimmages that we should have the ability to run the ball this year. Our offensive line is big. You know, they've gotten significantly stronger over the offseason. Our running back was a freshman last year. He's a sophomore. He's put on about 20 pounds. You know, so overall, thought we played well in the scrimmages, and hopefully we can continue to build off of it and have a good opening week come this weekend.
Coach. You know, I don't know, Coach. Coach always just when he talks make me want to go ahead and just suit up. I know I got one play left. I'm old as hell, Coach, but I got one play left. But when you just hear you talk, I get excited. I wanted to just ask you this: how has things changed from year one to year two? Because I know you still got some of the people back and everything. They know what you want, but in your eyes, how has it went?
You know, it's been great. You know, from December we hit it hard for. So let me start over
Go ahead.
real quick. So
Go ahead.
when we lost in the playoffs, our guys that were going to come back were eager to go ahead and get rolling. We gave them 2 weeks off. We took 2 weeks off, and that was it. And then we was right back in the weight room 2 weeks later. We started, you know, first week of December, getting in the weight room. But now the kids know my expectation. We have a culture established. I kind of know what I can expect from them. It's not as big of a learning curve going into year two. They know what I'm going to bring. I know what they're going to bring. The culture's there. The expectations are there. So we were able to kind of hit the ground running a little bit faster throughout the winter, into the spring. We bring back a big chunk of our production. Now, we lost quite a few key players from last year, don't get me wrong, but
Right.
we still return a quite bit of our production. We got a nice nucleus, a good core group of guys coming back. And we just been grinding, man. We've been grinding since December, and the kids are anxious to just, you know, get out there under those Friday night lights again.
You know, you hit something previously. You was talking about basically in these scrimmages working on the running game, and you know, I don't know if you watched the No Cap show because you know that that's where the Herb Brock comes from, and we knew that that running game had to be legit, had to be to be a real threat, and so it seemed like you like how does the team and how do you adjust to that? Because I mean, I know you know the running game. I know coming into a new system, new school, and things like that. So how you like implement that? Because that's that physicality. Not saying you guys were the physical, but that running game. It sounds like now you ready to rock and roll with it compared to
Yeah.
last year.
So yeah, you know, the run game, it starts in the trenches. It starts with that offensive line, and you know, as a team, on average, um, we put on average for every player that was in with us throughout the winter and the spring working out, we put on average 19 pounds of muscle this year. So we got significantly stronger, and that starts up front. Our line looks totally different than we did last year. So whenever teams see us, especially the two teams we just scrimmaged, they were like, we didn't expect you guys to be that big. You know, it starts with our left tackle, who you guys had on a couple weeks ago, who's the University of Louisville commit. You know, he's 6'5", 270 right now. You know, and I don't think we'll start anybody on our O line that's under 240. Last year we had guys 185, 190, 200 pounds starting on the offensive line. You know, and we graduated a couple, but the guys that we have coming back and then the new pieces are going to be some big boys. So it starts with the trenches. Our running back was a freshman last year. We had a
Mhm.
senior running back, but he was kind of banged up throughout the season.
Okay.
And then our number two running back was a freshman last year. Well, he's now our number one guy. He's a sophomore, so he's got more experience. He's got the body that can kind of handle those, you know, multiple hits
Right.
throughout the game. And honestly, I feel good about it. I do.
Was that an easy sell to like the team? That meaning that hey, basically, I know last year we passed a lot, and we try to run, but now when we got this running game, it's really gonna open up everything. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
This go
it
ahead.
was an easy sale because the one thing that I've told the guys, and we setback after we lost to Franklin County. And I told the whole team, I said, if you want to be a good football team and win games in November, when it matters, you got to be able to run the ball.
Right.
You know, you can win as many games as you want in August, September. October, but at the end of the day, you're playing for November and December. And if you can't run the ball, then you're gonna have an early exit. I'm sorry, in the playoffs. So I just told them that we have to be able to establish the run if we want to, advance in the playoffs. So our kids understand it. Now, don't get me wrong, we're still going to throw the ball. We're a pass-first offense. That's what we do. That's what I do. But we have to be a lot better in the run game.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Don, you got somebody this hype that you can go take care
Yeah,
of that.
let me get him.
Yeah, you go ahead and take
Right.
care of it. Me and my brother Brock would talk a bit a little longer. So you got some new pieces, you said, Coach. Let me see. You got some new pieces. What's the quarterback position looking like?
So we got two guys that are getting reps at the quarterback position. Both of them are fairly new to us. They came, in the spring. We had a transfer from Christian Academy. He was the backup at Cal last year, Colin Daniels. And then we have a transfer from Oldham County, Kingston Dugan. They both bring something different to the table. Both of them are great athletes, great quarterbacks. And I'm not going, obviously I don't want to dive too deep into it, but at this
Right.
moment, we're kind of going with a two quarterback system. Our plan is to let both of them get reps because they bring something totally different to the table. But they've been competing all off season and just kind of we're trying to find their strengths and what they do well and implement it whenever they're in the game.
When you have a two quarterback system, like would you ride the hot hand? If some, I mean, I know you probably gonna split the course the reps and things, and you have a plan laid out for them. But if somebody catches on fire, do you ride it or do you stick to your plan?
Most definitely. No, we definitely ride it. We're definitely going to ride it. But I also think having two quarterbacks that are drastically different skill sets makes it harder for the defense to prepare for that week in practice. They don't know which one we're going to throw out there. We might, we might have one play all 48 minutes this week. And then the next week, the defense that we're going against this other kid might be better suited for that defense. But, we'll definitely ride the hot hand. But I think it's going to be tough for defenses to kind of practice for us throughout the week because they don't know which one's going to be under center. And like I said, they're both totally different. So you're going to have to spend some time throughout the week practicing and getting prepared for both guys.
Right. As far as your team makeup, man, is it like is it heavy upperclassmen or is it like balance throughout the grades?
It's fairly balanced. Now we got some seniors this year that are some of the leaders of our team, but some of our upperclassmen are some of our better football players as well. On the offensive line, we have as far as starting, we only got one senior starting on the offensive line this year. Between the two quarterbacks, one's an underclassman, one's a senior. My skill guys are mixed. We got some, two seniors starting, but then we got two underclassmen. So I think it's very mixed. We got a balance of upperclassmen and younger classmen that's going to be playing some valuable minutes for us this year.
Cool. Yeah, that's good stuff. I also go to real quick before I forget because I know we're going to dive into some questions to get everybody get to know some more things about you. Would you pass a note on to Mr. Schmittle that I am looking for him? I'm looking to do an interview. I mean, I reached out to him last year and he kind of stiff armed me. Maybe that was the North Oldham, but let him know I'm part of the home team. So this pass it on. I didn't want to forget that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, most definitely, I can get him on here for you. I think he would love to get on here, and he would be a great interview for you guys. So I'll make sure I pass that along, and maybe here soon he can hop on the wheel show for sure.
I got you. I appreciate you, fam. All right, Don, let's get rocking and rolling.
All right. Now that I've taken care of Ace, so all right, Coach. What is your offensive philosophy?
And I try to be as much as possible, as long as I can in a perfect world, try to be balanced. I kind of joked earlier that we're a pass first offense. Last year we were for sure. This year I would like to be a little bit more balanced. But my offensive philosophy, honestly, is just spread you out and try to get our athletes the ball out in space. We go a lot of 4 and 5 wide sets, a lot of single back, and just try to get the ball to our athletes in space and let them be playmakers. We throw a lot of vertical routes at you. But honestly, we're just going to take what the defense gives us. If it's a defense that is kind of playing a lot of cover four or belling on us, then we'll just take the underneath and the quick game. We'll throw screens and stuff at you. But for the most part, just to kind of sum all that up, get our athletes the ball out in space, spread you out, and let those guys be athletes.
Cool, cool. That's good stuff.
Yeah,
Make sure you guys follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff for us. So, Coach, what is your defensive philosophy? What you rolling with defense, man? We always talking about that offense. How about the defense?
Yeah, so I got a new defensive coordinator this year, and I'm kind of letting him. He's kind of handling the defense, but we're going to be a 3-3 stack. We'll run some 3-4 as well, but we're going to be an odd man front, and send some pressure, play coverage behind it, and hopefully hit home with some of those pressures that we'll be sending. But we'll be an odd man front, 3-3, and get after it.
You play that college football, don't you? That video game, don't you? You want that
I played it when
3-3-5?
it first
You
came out.
you play that
For the first
3-3-5?
week or two. Yeah, for the first week or two, I was on it. I haven't really played it in the last couple of weeks. I've been kind of itching to get back at it, but we got a season to prepare for. So
You
right.
take care of business.
hopefully here soon I can get back on the sticks a little bit though.
I'm messing with you because you said that 3-3 stack. You know what I'm saying? So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah, that defense kind of nasty. So I just had to
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, Coach. So, how do you handle special teams at practice?
I know a lot of coaches may agree or disagree, but I do feel like special teams is a very important part of the game. I don't necessarily know if it's a third of the game, like some people might say, but I do think it can win and lose you some games. So we try to hit special teams. Our two scrimmages, special teams have been dead, so we haven't had any live action with special teams yet. We did go live in practice today, but I think it's very important. We try to hit a little bit of special teams every day throughout the week. Now we might not do it all every day, but Monday we might hit kickoff return, Tuesday punt return, Wednesday we might get hands team out there. On Thursdays we'll definitely put it all together, but we try to split it up each week. It kind of at the school we're at least for this year, my kickers also play other sports. So I have to kind of work around their schedule, whether it be soccer or whatever sport they're playing. So I also have to work around their schedule when they can be there, and so on and so forth. But I do think special teams is very important, and we definitely try to hit it, throughout the week for sure.
All right.
Yeah, that's good. And you already pretty much the next one is going to be describe your off-season program, but I want to go a different way. I want to go with, and you kind of hit it. So being that you got some athletes that play other sports, how does that affect your off-season program? Because you definitely want everybody in there lift and run and all this kind of stuff. Are you okay with? I mean, of course you're okay with that because it's that's what they do. But how is it? Do you adjust to that in the off-season program? And then how, the freshmen who maybe don't, it's on the freshman team or whatever they got to do, or the eighth graders are coming up, are they invited to come for this off-season workout that you're doing?
It's a great question. And with this being my first off season at North, we had to come up with a game plan that fit because a lot of our kids do play multiple sports. So what we did this year, we still required every player that's going to play football to come to weightlifting, but we went in the mornings before school. That way they can go to their other sport after school. And that's a huge testament, A, to the kids, but B, to the parents, because nobody complained. They was up here bright and early in the morning. It's still dark outside, in December, January, February, it's dark outside. It's cold. These kids never complained one time. They was up here in the morning, before school, getting their workout in. And then one thing that we did too that I felt like helped us is we fed them breakfast every morning after weights. We would give them pancakes, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, just trying to get them big, trying to get that protein and try to put some food in their stomach and stuff like that. Try to get them buff them up a little bit. That was very beneficial. So it worked for us last year. It worked so well that as long as I'm a head coach, I'll probably continue to do that. Where we go in the mornings in the off season. Let the kids shower, go to school, and then if you're a multi-sport athlete, you go to your other sport after school, or if you're not, then you got the rest of the day to go be a teenager. So that's kind of how we done it this year, and it worked for us.
That's good. It's real good.
Mm, nice, nice. All right,
It
coach.
takes a
So,
lot of commitment, though. I will say it's tough. It takes some commitment, and if you're not bought in, then you can get lost real quick. You had to buy in early because getting up, like I said, on those cold December, January mornings, it'll test you. It'll test
Right.
you.
And I was gonna say that
you
it's
see,
when you have a successful season and they see your vision and believe in it, it kind of makes it easier. You know what I'm saying, to do that kind of stuff. And you guys are, sound like you guys are hungry. So it's like, okay, we've tasted some success, but let's go ahead and really, we know what we need to do, and our coaches letting us know the blueprint for that. So is this a testament, you know what I'm saying, of what they believe in you and in your program?
Most definitely, I appreciate that.
yeah, that binds them in right there. That gets them most engaged. Keep them engaged.
Yeah.
All right, coach. So, how do you get the community involved in football in your program?
It's you got to a communication. You got to communicate, but you just have to be you got to be vocal, but you got to be seen. You got to let them know that it's just not about football. I try to support other programs as much as possible. For example, tonight, one of my deals with the kids is um, when there's a big sporting event and we don't have a game, I will kind of give conditioning passes if the kids go to the other sports. So tonight, our volleyball team was having their first home game of the season against Ballard. And anybody that goes to the game gets conditioning off tomorrow. My phone's sitting here blowing up of kids just kind of screenshotting right now that they're at the game. So I think that the rest of the community kind of see stuff like that I am trying to promote other sports, not just football. Try to be visible at softball games, at baseball games, things of that nature. I think that all that kind of ties in, inviting the community to the game, doing different promotions, whether it be alumni night, first responders night, things like that at some of our home games, just to try to get more people in. And then honestly, the last thing is just work ethic. I think that the community, everybody talks, the streets talk, and I think that they see work ethic and how much my staff and I put into this place, just outside of X's and O's. And I think that spreads like wildfire. But at the end of the day, winning, you got to win. If you don't win, nobody's going to want to support
Right.
you. So you got to win. And that also gets the community fired up.
Yeah, yeah. Winning carries a lot of a
No
lot of
doubt.
bad stuff. Let me ask you. I'm gonna dive deeper into that. So, like in Goshen, Kentucky, like how is it? Like, what is like besides the high school? Are you doing other things in the community? And is it expected of you for you? Do you believe that's like something you need to do besides the high school stuff, being seen and doing things representing North Oldham and Goshen, Kentucky?
Goshen's fairly small, and me not being from here and still not living here, I wouldn't say I do a lot outside of the school. I'm a teacher, so
Right.
I do teach here, and then coaching. Other than like sporting events and stuff, I'm not really out as a lot, but there's really not a lot to do here. It's a very small town and community. One thing that I've kind of put on my plate this year where I need to do better at is establishing more of a relationship with the elementary age kids, in some of those youth league programs. I feel like I got a pretty decent relationship with the middle school, but now trickling down and getting involved more with the elementary kids and showing up to some of their games and just kind of being seen now that, you know, I got a year under my belt and the community kind of knows that I'm the football coach at the high school. I think it's very important that I kind of promote myself to some of those kids and just to keep them here. If you look at a lot of the private schools, Trinity, Cal, Say Next, a lot of those kids played youth league or middle school here in Goshen. So my job is to kind of try to keep those kids, so when they get to high school that they want to be a Mustang.
Cool, cool.
Right, right. Okay, okay. So, is social media a resource that you use to engage with your players and the community?
social media is very important in this society, and you know, I had a couple, I don't want to say older coaches, a couple experienced coaches kind of reach out to me over the off season, kind of bragging on our social media platform and how we use social media and just asking for tips and some tips and stuff. But I'll say that I'm big on social media. I try to promote our kids as much as possible. We try to, you know, put out a lot of graphics and things of that nature. I'm constantly talking to college coaches, you know, on Twitter, on social media as well. I think that in this day, in today's society, if you're not using social media, then you're doing your program a disservice. And there's multiple ways and multiple reasons why social media can benefit your program. So I do think it's very valuable, you know, and very important, especially for teenagers these days, to see you promoting them and your program on social media.
That is true. That is true.
Most definitely.
So, coach, what makes a good quarterback in your system?
First thing is you got to be smart. You know, we run a no huddle up tempo spread offense. You got to be smart. You got to be able to read coverages. We try to make it as simple as possible, but you also have to have some football IQ. Um, obviously you got to be able to throw the ball because we're going to throw the ball. You know, anybody can sit back and kind of hand it off, but you have to have an arm. Got to be able to throw the ball. But you have to be a leader. You have to have those leadership qualities. You know, not everybody's a leader. Not everybody carries themselves as a leader. And to me, if you're the quarterback of a football team, you have to be the leader, because when things start to go bad, everybody's looking at the quarterback. You got to have thick
Hmm.
skin. You got to have broad shoulders. You got to be able to carry the weight, the good and the bad. One thing that we always kind of preach to our kids is never too high, never too low. I don't want you to get too high after a big win or after a long touchdown throw, but I also don't want you to get too low after a bad loss or after you just throw an interception. So kind of have some thick skin, some broad shoulders, carry that weight, be a leader, be a positive teammate. You know, chin up, chest out is kind of one thing that we always say. You got to always have your chin up, chest out at the quarterback position. But you also have to be smart and have some football IQ to you as well.
I knew that was going to be a good answer.
Lovely. Lovely.
It's,
All
it's
right,
tough to
coach.
play quarterback in our system, but you know, I've been blessed. Last year, I had a phenomenal quarterback. He's now at EKU,
Hmm.
playing quarterback for EKU. And then this year, I got two guys. You know, the Lord blessed me. I'm a praying man, and I prayed all off season for a quarterback, and God blessed me with two of them. So, and I feel comfortable putting either one of them under center on Friday night. Whichever one goes out there, truth be told, I feel very confident and comfortable with either one of them. I think they can both lead us to some wins.
Cool, cool.
Hey, that's some good stuff. Whew. All right. So, what all do you do for your players as far as college recruiting help, as in the help? I guess you say help them as much.
Yeah, so I have a spreadsheet of every one of our players. The first thing I do is kind of ask them like who's interested and serious about playing college football. Their work ethic can tell you, and sometimes us as coaches have to have those, you know, those not necessarily serious conversation, those honest conversations with the kid and let them know what it takes to be a college athlete, especially a football player. It's a job whenever you get to the college level. So who's serious about it? Who wants to do it? But then I kind of have like some spreadsheets, some player profiles is what I call them, of every one of our players that are interested or that has the potential to play college football. It has their name, their Twitter handle, their height, their weight, their GPA, anything that I think will benefit them. If they're a strong, if they can bench press a lot, I'll put their bench on there. If they got a good 40, I'll put their 40 on there. But basically, all of their attributes, all of their anything that a college coach will the information they'll need, their huddle link. And then I send that out to college coaches. Now in the off season, definitely during recruiting season, I send it out a lot more. During the season, once we're going, when recruiting kind of slows down a little bit, I might send it out once every 3 weeks, once a month. But off season, I'm sending out to the same coaches, you know, all over Kentucky and then and then like bordering states, you know, once a week or so. And I feel like that has helped me established a pretty decent relationship with a lot of college coaches in our area, and then a few even in surrounding areas. So it's also about, one thing that I've learned too. It's about honesty. Like if you try to hype up some kids and try to send a kid that's 5'6", 120 pounds to Division 1, then these coaches are going to look at you and laugh. So you got to kind of be and evaluate what level you think the kids can play at, and go from there.
Right.
Like it. The honesty
The
of it.
honest.
The
Yeah,
honesty,
yeah, yeah.
like you said.
The
Right.
mayor, the mayor
Gotta
and
be
I
real.
talk. The mayor and I talk about this all the time. We we'll talk. I'll talk to little brother mayor, and we talk about have that honest conversation with these players because a lot of players think they can do, and you can always want to do and everything, but let's have an honest conversation. What it's going to look like? Everybody's
Yeah.
not D1, and if you're not D1, that does not mean that you're a failure at all. So
Right.
let's
I,
have that honest conversation.
well, my defensive coordinator, Coach McGraw, and I, we actually talked, and one thing we're doing, we're going to take a field trip. We're going to take a team to an NAIA game this fall, just to show these kids that there's a misconception of NAIA football. There's some dogs at the NAIA level, and I just think there's a misconception that Georgetown College, Lindsey Wilson, Thomas More Division 2 program, they play some good
Mhm.
football. So just because you don't go to UK or U of L doesn't mean you can't go and still play college football, and use that to get you a degree and network and meet lifelong friends, and have a great experience.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. Before I ask,
No doubt.
the coach done got me sparked on something else, but before I ask my question, I'm going to bring somebody. David Hammond said, when we going to run the flicker?
Oh, see, that's my father-in-law. That's my right-hand man. That's my father-in-law. He's telling my
Okay.
first play of the game. So,
Oh,
and
come
Look out!
on.
He's
Come
already
on,
tell the
Father.
we
script.
might come
He
out.
tell the script.
Hopefully, nobody from Fern Creek's watching. We're coming out with flea flicker first play of the game. No, I'm teasing. I'm just teasing, but it's in the tour bag.
Come on, Pop.
That's
It,
what I'm
it
gonna
is.
say. They're gonna come out with it.
It is in the tour bag. It's coming out at some point. It
We,
might not be game 1, but you guys
okay.
will see flea flicker come from North Oldham sometime soon. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, I hope
Oh.
I hope it's the game that we at. Hey, when I hit you
Yeah.
up like we coming, that'll be the key. Go ahead and throw
Yeah,
that flea flicker.
yeah,
Right.
most definitely.
We
So
coming
Yeah,
FF.
yeah. So
yeah.
let me ask you this. Now there's some players that know their worth. Let's say that. And what if a player comes to you and say, okay, hey, football playing is not my thing, but I want to coach. How can you help? And what kind of advice would you give a player that came to you and say, hey, I want to coach. I want to do like what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And maybe doing on another level too. So how do you help those kiddos?
First thing I'll tell them is be a student of the game. Go and learn from, uh, you know, in today's generation, you got YouTube. So start just learning X's and O's outside of what you know. Most high school kids are going to know what they ran in high school, but go and be a student of the game. Start learning different offenses, different defenses. My mentor, the guy that I kind of looked up to, I remember he would always tell me like go get books, and he would kind of recommend some different books to read. And I kind of took the shortcut because I would, instead of reading those books, I would just get on YouTube and just pop my headphones in and listen. So but be a student of the game, just kind of learn from different styles. Go back to the origins of football, and because football, nobody's recreating the wheel.
Right.
A lot of stuff they were doing back in the day is the same stuff they're doing now. They just put a little twist on it. So learn the origins, learn the blocking schemes and things of that nature. And I think that would kind of help you become a coach. But honestly, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not the smartest X's and O's guy, but learn how to build relationships and get kids to buy into what you're selling. I think that one reason I've been somewhat successful, if you will, as a coach, I'm not even gonna sit here and act like I'm super successful, but I've had a little bit of success, but that's because I feel like my kids would run through a brick wall for me because that's the relationships that I built
Mm-hmm.
with them. I'm not always gonna call the perfect play, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know everything about X's and O's, but My kids know that I care about them. I try to build a relationship with them, and I think that that helps me, be a coach. So you can be a great coach, X's and O's wise, but if your kids don't buy into what you're selling, or you don't have a relationship with them, I think that in today's generation, that old school yelling, cussing at them and stuff is out the window. You gotta love on them. I always use the analogy of, treat them like like you're holding a bird. You don't want to squeeze them too tight where you pop their neck off, but you also can't let them too loose where the bird just flies away. You got to kind of find that middle ground and kind of keep them tight, show them that you love them. As they say, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
I think you're the first person that used pop the neck off, pop the head off of a bird. Congratulations, coach. Big
Yeah.
time.
I've never heard it either.
I never heard it, but that's good. I love it. I love it. And,
I know it. It
You can't
is
squeeze them
good.
too tight.
right,
You
I
can't
get
squeeze
it.
them too tight,
I
man.
get it. I
You know?
I
understand.
like it.
And,
I like it.
and your father-in-law said he ain't gonna do it.
He did
Okay.
say that.
It's coming. Now listen, one thing that he's probably gonna make me do is run at first play of the game. I just don't know if Coach Abel over Fern Creek's watching right now or not, but he's gonna challenge me enough to where I do have to come out with flea flicker play one, and it's gonna kill me because I'm gonna have to say, you know what, Pops, you was right again. But hopefully nobody from Fern Creek's tuned in right now.
Yeah, nobody's watching. This is all North Oldham. This is off North Oldham, man. We rocking and
Yeah.
rolling.
My kids today at practice, they asking me how many trick plays do we run. They're all about running trick plays. And I'm like, guys, we just about to line up and run, eye right, dive right the whole game. We ain't throwing the ball one time. We gotta get this run game going, fellas.
Love it, love it, love it.
Oh man, that is funny. All right, Coach. What qualities do you seek in assistant coaches?
That's a good question. That's a really good question, and I feel like I've learned my lesson a lot over the last few years. Number one, you got to be a good person. I don't care how much football you know. You got to be a good person. If I can't trust my own children around you, then I can't trust somebody else's children around you. So I try to make sure you're a good person and that you're going to have some integrity and do the right thing. So just making sure you're a good person. We can kind of teach you football. The second part is how committed are you? How much skin in the game are you going to put? Are you going to put some skin in the game? Don't just show up and want to call plays on Friday nights. But are you going to help me sweep the locker room after the game? Are you going to help me throw his laundry in the washer? Are you going to help me make copies when I need to? Are you going to help me do some of the work that nobody else is willing to do? I think that's another quality that makes a great assistant coach. Other than that, obviously, then it does get down to kind of football. Are you going to trust? Are you going to be one that's going to trust and have my back, or are you going to run and kind of spread rumors and talk about us behind our back? Now we can once we're in the coach's office and no kids are around, we're gonna have some heated conversations. That happens as part of coaching football. But A, we don't do it in front of the kids. And then B is kind of like, what happens in the house, don't leave the house. What happens in our locker room, I don't like to leave and go talk too much about outside to
Right.
outside people. So keep it, family oriented and keep our problems amongst us. And then the last thing I would say is you got to have a positive attitude. I'm a very positive person, probably sometimes to a fault. I'm a glass half full type of guy. I'm always trying to find the positives in a situation. I think negativity is very contagious, and I don't like a lot of negativity around me. So just be a positive person and uplifting it. If something goes bad, because something is going to go bad, but how are you going to handle that adversity? And let's find a way to fix it and be positive about it.
Great answer.
Like,
Great answer. Big time. Hey man, go on and cut that. Put that on X, man, /former Twitter. That answer right there, Coach Robert. You got to put that on. Hey, for real. That was a dandy right there. I'm not gonna
that's
lie.
a clip. That's a
Yeah,
clip
it's a
right
clip,
there.
big time. So, as a player, you know what I'm saying. We all play football, things like that, or some kind of sport, and maybe you didn't start. Maybe but you're going into the next season. You feel you got a chance. You know what I'm saying? But it is probably some guys that maybe a little older than you, but you feel that, hey, dude, I'm better than them. I just need to get a shot. So this for you. How do you evaluate players? So, how do you evaluate them? Because a lot of times people feel, man, I ain't going nowhere because this dude's a senior. He's a favorite of the coach. Now, how do you evaluate players?
We try not to do the seniority thing. It's the best player plays. If you give us the best chance to win on Friday night, so you're gonna be the one out there. We're gonna evaluate you by your work ethic. Not just in season but off season. How was you in the weight room with us? Did you show up to spring ball? Are you coming to practice early? Are you late? Are you getting reps after practice? Um, how serious are you taking? And then number two, film don't lie. So we have the ability, we obviously film practices and games and we watch it with the kids. But we also track to see how much film the kids are watching. How serious are you about it? So if you come in here to us coaches saying, Coach, I want to challenge such and such for that position, but you got 0 minutes logged on huddle, then are you really serious about that position?
Right.
I do think one thing I'll say though about our kids, for the most part, I'll say 95, 96%, our kids are very smart and they kind of know we don't have a lot of situations where player A thinks he's better than player B. They pretty much know that he's better than me. I'm his backup. We don't have a lot of
Okay.
kids that deal with that. I feel like we're very blessed with very smart, mature kids. We do try to have a rotation and make sure if you do have the ability to play on Friday nights, then you can. But if not, you're gonna get your reps on Monday in JV.
Right. Right. No, that's cool. That's cool. I remember having and I know my former coach is probably watching. I remember I was a sophomore. I said, "Hey, bro, look, are you paying attention to practice? Are you really paying attention?" And so I had to go in the pit. Had to go in the pit, and that was the worst locker room ever at Old Mill, the pit. So then the junior year is like, nah, bro, I can't live like that. So but I'm glad we didn't have huddle then. So film work is very, very important. So, you know, did, did the kids already was they already looking at film before you came, or is that something that you implemented?
I think they did. I don't know. I don't know as far as how much or if they did it the same way we do.
Hmm.
But I'm pretty sure. The previous coach was a good coach and a very yeah, he knew what he was doing. So I'm almost certain he had them guys watching film as well. But I'm not sure how much. And we kind of changed ours up and do ours a little bit different.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, I'm sure they did.
I didn't know that. And I guess everybody on the team has a huddle account. I didn't know that you guys could look and see how much they've been looking at that film work. Video. So I love that. So
Every day, I'm checking every day, and my coaches too. I'm checking to see how much film coaches are watching. Because don't come to me questioning a play call that I just called on Friday night when you got 2 minutes of film logged in. You know what I mean? So I'm making sure if you want to have a suggestion on a play call, then I need to make sure that you got some skin in the game and that you watch film throughout the week as well. My guys are. I'm blessed. I'm blessed with a
right.
great coaching staff. We got a great staff this year. It's crazy because we all gel together. We all, we have our disagreements and our differences, but we're able to hash it out like grown men instead of some childish behavior. But all of my guys, their wives and spouses probably are mad at me right now because we're going 6 days a week, plus they're putting in 3, 4, 5 hours a week of film, if not more than that. So if any of the spouses are watching, I do appreciate the time that your husband or boyfriend is devoting, and hopefully it pays off for us in the long run.
Are they going to get a? Is it only going to be 5 days next week? Will I see you at U of L versus Austin P game?
So we're Saturdays off. We go film on Sundays.
Okay.
So I'll definitely be at the U of L Austin P game. 12 o'clock
Okay.
kickoff. I'll probably be in my
Well,
parking spot by 9:30. I'll be here.
that's what I'm
Okay.
talking about
Okay.
right there.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to find you. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep,
It's
Yeah,
all
I'll be
good. It's all
fine.
we shall
Yeah.
be tailgating. Yes.
Yes, sir. No cards.
good.
Right. All right, coach. So, how do you motivate your players?
That's another good question. Y'all coming with the fire tonight? Hey, Will, you and Don been doing y'all's homework, huh?
Hey,
Uh,
Well,
First of all, you don't come on here 3 times without knowing your stuff. So it's a blessing.
most
I'm
definitely.
I'm already counting down for the fourth. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
Yeah. I, so I think my motivation approach this year is far different than last year. Last year I used the aspect of how, and I'm gonna just be honest, how terrible our football program had been over the last decade.
Mm,
Before last season, we hadn't had a winning season since 2014.
mm,
They were, I say they as in us now, North Oldham was the laughing stock of high school football around this area. They had been terrible. So I kind of used that as kind of right the ship, if you will. Let's get this thing back going. Let's have a winning season. Let's take it one game at a time. And if we do our job, then we can kind of add the wins up and have a winning season. Now that we've had a winning season, we're kind of using the motivation of advancing in the playoffs. We don't want to be a one-hit wonder. We don't want to revert back to our old ways, or lose first round in the playoffs. We're trying to host a playoff game, finish top two, in our district to host, and then see where the playoffs take us. Hopefully, make a run. Our guys this year, to be honest, are self-motivated. They got a little taste of success this year, and now that they know that we have the makeup of a team to be pretty decent. So there's a lot of self motivation there. They love. I don't get too caught up in this, but my kids do, my players do. But there's been a couple teams on some of these podcasts kind of calling us out or saying that the game that they want the most is North Oldham. So our kids are kind of using that as motivation, bottling that up, and using that as some locker room material, if you will, and hopefully some of those teams that did mention North Oldham in those podcasts, hopefully our guys come ready to play against them, because like I tell them, you can't say that you're motivated for this team and then come out and lose to them. So if you're really motivated for them, then you have to show it on Friday night. So we'll see if they're ready for that.
all right. So some of
spicy.
your
Go ahead.
let me. So some of your motivation, just like that, is that the same type for a tough loss or after a loss to get them motivated for the next week?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, if we have a tough loss, then obviously we want to come back to work, see where we went wrong, see what was bad, and try to fix it. Now I will say, I'll use a team like Franklin County, for example. They're in our district. And last year, the way that they beat us
Mm,
put a lot of stuff in perspective for us. We saw, based on, if we want to get to their level, if we want to be a program of their caliber, we got to get in the weight room. We got to get bigger, faster, stronger. And we can't. It can't just be a July to November job. If we want to be good, it starts in the off season. Games in November and December are won, in January, February, and March. So I think a team like that really put a lot in perspective for us as to where we stood and where we really was as a program, and where we're trying to get. So kind of using some of those top teams that we played and some of those butt whoopings that we took last year as motivation.
Gotcha.
uh, wow, man. So man, they getting spicy out there, Colin. You know what? It's so funny because I refuse to have that like at one of our questions. Like, it's so easy to do that because I guess I just respect that. I don't want bulletin board. Let's go ahead and play and all this kind of stuff. Then you get out and get embarrassed. So that's why I never stooped to that. That's why I tried to make this show about, people's sports journey and all that. We do have fun. We do go off the rails a lot of times, but whoa, somebody trying to get spicy. Ooh,
Right.
you gonna have to DM me.
I
You got
will say, I wouldn't say too. They didn't get spot. They didn't say nothing disrespectful or
okay,
anything like that. It
okay,
was just no, no, not. I hope I didn't make it sound that way. It was just a question like, what game do you have circled on your schedule, or what game do you want to win the most? What
right,
team do you want to beat the most? And there's a couple
right.
teams that mentioned us, so it wasn't disrespectful, and that's what kids are gonna do.
Was it? Y'all must have beat the brakes off of 'em. Y'all
It
must have beat.
was two teams that we did win against last year. I guess that they didn't expect us. They didn't
Yeah. Yes.
expect
Yeah.
to lose to North Oldham. Like I said, North Oldham was a laughing stock, and
When
then they
you
lost. They probably had a sense of embarrassment, but they didn't come out in a disrespectful way. I'm not
You
trying to
put
give
it
nobody
no, you good.
bulletin board.
You put it in the context when you
Yeah,
once you said that, then I said, "Ah, man, they got the brakes beat off
yeah.
them. We ain't worried about that.
We
That's
felt
all.
that.
Yeah,
Right.
whatever. What are some okay? What are some of the team building activities that you did for this team? You know, a lot of people do different things. Did you do any team building thing, or were you guys already the team building? Like, let's get in this weight room, let's rock and roll. We already know we
I
took that loss.
No,
Go ahead.
yeah, I think the weight room was definitely one of the biggest team builders. Our guys saw each other in there pumping iron at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, just, and that builds a brotherhood in itself. One of our big team building things, we do a lock in, we do a 24-hour lock in, where we just let the kids come out, hang out, play video games, cornhole,
Mhm.
lock them in and let them be teenagers and kids together. And then we have a midnight scrimmage that I think is a big hit around here. The kids love it. That's also a team bonding event. We have a few more planned, or at least in the talks for this year. Like I said, going to that college football game,
Yeah.
things of that nature. But our guys, man, one thing that we're lucky about that might be different than in the city, I'm not sure, but they all grow up together. So everybody that's on our team
Mhm.
played middle school, or for the most part, at least
Right.
majority of them played middle school and youth league together. So they already have that bond. They already got that brotherhood. So there's
Right.
not a lot of team building that needs to happen. Because they do know each other and have grown up together and live within a couple minutes of each other. So
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, Coach. What
Hey,
is your
Don, hey,
successful?
my
Go
fault,
ahead.
Don. Yeah, let me go because I see where it
Right.
duplicates. So let
Right.
me go ahead and do this.
Got you.
So no, go ahead and do yours and I'll come back. My bad. Go do
All
your
right.
last
I
one.
mean, the same.
Go
Right.
ahead.
All right. So, Coach, what is a successful season for your team?
Success is defined a lot of different ways. I've been asked this question multiple times, and every time my answer changes because I don't think there is just one answer.
Right.
Last year we were 7-5, and I think a lot of people consider that a successful season for where the program was up to that point. Um, this year I would not consider 7-5 a success. Just now year two, I want to kind of build off that. So I think that it's different. Success to me would be, at least for this year, would be hosting a playoff game, finishing top two in our district, and then at least making it to the third round or further. My goal is playing the region championship or advance even further than that. That would be a success as far as wins and losses. But I also think you can have success outside of wins and losses. For example, if I could get the kids that on my team that want to play, the seniors on my team that want to play college football, if I can get all them on a roster, get them on a college
Mhm.
roster somewhere, that would be successful to me. All my kids are finishing school with a 3.0 or higher GPA. That's a success to me. Um, all of my kids that played this year want to come back and play next year. To me, that's also a way I can measure success because they must have liked something. Um,
Right.
Getting some of my seniors from last year to come back and want to be a part of some of our games and just be around the team because they miss the staff and the culture. To me, that's a success. There's a lot of ways I can sit here and mention success. So you kind of catch my drift. But just win wise, I would say better to just win one more game than we did last year. So try to get at least 8 wins, and then finish top two in the district and host a playoff game and go third round or further.
So, Coach, let me ask you this: how do you balance being a husband and a father and a head coach? How do you balance that?
That's one of those questions, man, that I feel like I'm terrible at. I have to do a much better job. I first I grew up without a father, so I know how important it is for me to be present in my kids' lives. And my wife is, and I'm not just saying this because it's the political answer or what, but she's the backbone of our family. She holds it down. So I do need to do a better job. But what I try to do is during the off season, especially those summer months when we're off school, I try to disconnect a little bit and try to spend as much time with my kids as possible, and make up for some of that missed time throughout the season. I don't think a lot of people really realize how much time goes into the season from July until November. It's a lot. I leave my house 7:30 in the morning. And what I mean, it's 9 o'clock now, and I'm still at the office. And this is for the most part, a typical night. Saturday. So one thing that my wife and I agreed on when I became a head coach a while back, and I tell my staff this all the time. Um, I usually use Saturdays for film and kind of working on football, breaking down the opponent and then our previous Friday. But then Sundays I'm cut off. Now we do have staff meeting and film for 2 hours on Sunday evenings, but that's the only football that I will work on Sundays. The rest of Sundays is family day. We'll get up, we'll go to church. We'll go out to lunch or dinner after church, and I try to make up some missed time with the kids on Sundays as well. But anybody out there that's got some better solutions, I do need to get better at time management because I feel like I spend
Right.
every, waking moment at this place. And then when I get home, it's like it's so easy to just pull your computer out and turn huddle on and try to
Right.
get ready for the opponent when, my kids are sitting on the couch and stuff. So I'm there, they're there, but I'm not really spending that time with them. I'm
Right.
in front of a screen or watching film or something. So I do struggle with that, but I feel like I make up for that in the off season, in the spring and summer
Well,
months. At least I hope I do.
my brother, only reason I ask you that because I know that what I'm saying. I know you're busy and you take care. But one thing, one picture, I saw a picture, and it kind of moved me. So that's why I asked that. But I'm gonna follow up with this. B. How important is it, being that you are a girl dad, and to have your girls on the sidelines or whatever, helping, doing things. How important when you turn around and you're in the heat of the moment and you see your princesses there.
I'll be honest with you, and they'll probably never understand this, but that feeling is better than I can even explain. I don't think they realize, after the game, after a big win or even a tough loss, they come sprint. As soon as that horn blows, they're come sprinting and want a big hug. My wife does a great job of making sure that they're at every game. It's way
Hmm.
past their bedtime. Their eating routine is off because now they got to stop and eat McDonald's, and it's 10:30, 11 o'clock. But she never complains. They're at every game. I don't care how far we are. They're traveling. So she makes sure that they're there. But that feeling that you just mentioned is special. I just and I don't realize how much they care about it until I keep mentioning Franklin County. But last year when we lost to them, my oldest daughter, she's 7 now, she was 6
Hmm.
at the time. She sees all the boys kind of upset and crying, and she don't really know what's going on, but she just
Right.
starts bawling, and I'm like,
Hmm.
what's wrong? And she's like, football's over. And that hit me. I'm like, dang, so but yeah, it's a special moment, especially getting those post game hugs and kisses
Hmm.
and stuff from your kids. It's special.
Cool, cool. All right, man. We're gonna get you off this so your wife when we come to North Oldham won't be mad at us because we
Right.
kept you out long. All right, the floor is yours, man. Whatever you need to relay, why people should come to North Oldham as far as players, give thanks, whatever you need. You know how we roll. The floor is
See, I,
yours.
I feel like that was a trick question. You trying to get me in trouble for recruiting, so I ain't gonna sit here and do that
No,
right now.
no,
Listen,
no, no,
No,
no, no, no,
no,
no. I'm trying.
no,
No, no, no.
all
Hold
I'm
on.
gonna say, nah,
I
no.
ain't
listen,
doing that. Come on,
all
coach.
I'm all I'm gonna say is you're gonna have a players first coach. All right, we my staff and I, we our players first coaches, all of us. We want what's best for the student athlete. We're gonna take great care of you. We're gonna care about you off and on the field. I got to give a shout out. I would mention every single one of my assistant coaches, but that would take too long. But Coach Randy McGraw, he's my new defensive coordinator. And I need to publicly thank him because without him, I don't know where we would be right now in this
Mhm.
situation. He has worked his tail off from December until now, not only on the defense, but helping in the weight room. You know, he's a phenomenal assistant coach, and I really respect and glad he's on my team. You know, but as far as what we got to look forward to, you know, hopefully guys want to, hopefully, you know, community and support system wants to come out and watch, because I do think that, you know, we'll put a good product out on the field and play some clean football and have some fun while doing it.
My brother, is always a blessing to have you part of the show. Like always, you never let me down, never had let us down, period, as 54 Network. And I appreciate you. And definitely, we're going to look at that schedule. I'm going to let you know when we coming out there to support you guys, and wish you nothing but success. You already know that. And like I said, I see why when Grady was on here talking, you know what I'm saying? You can feel the energy. You know what I'm saying? And it starts from you. It starts from you, man. Yeah, and it's a great
Appreciate
thing.
it.
So
Can I say one last thing?
go ahead.
Will, you know, I watch you every Thursday, and every time you pick against us, I circle that. Hey, I put that note in my notebook. I'm like, Will picked against us again this week. Hey, so hey, just know, Will, I'm watching, man. Every time you pick, I put a little star next to it. So
Well, you know what? And I'm glad you said it, because Thursday night we are back. We will be previewing, and we got these games, and it's rocking and rolling. We're gonna keep a tally of the Don, T-Rock, the Mayor, and myself, so everybody knows what we did for the season and all this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And Brock, I didn't pick too many times against you guys. So
no, you did.
Come on, man.
A couple times, not too
Couple
many,
times,
not too
couple
much. I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. That's all right, though, man. You got to get out for. Hey, I will DM you, and we'll get together. We'll be out there, and you know, can't wait to come and see you guys play, man. And I really appreciate you for joining us tonight.
Most definitely appreciate you guys, and I'll definitely probably run into y'all Saturday at the next Saturday at the Louisville game.
Yes, sir. All right, man. God bless.
All right, Coach.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
thanks, fellas. Take it easy.
Woo.
It's not too much. It's not too much you can say. That's why Brock's on here almost every year. He brings it. And I would say this for every coach that's on here, and even every player, you know, especially the coaches, because we kind of switch up with the questions with the coaches. They don't know what these questions are, so they got to go off the dome. You know what I'm saying?
Not pre-scripted at all.
At all. So you got to know. And like I said, Brock being on here so many times, we got to keep on switching, and he never fails. Never fails. And just blessed to be able to do what we do. You know what I'm saying? I got the Don, myself, we rock and roll on the Will Show. You know, and tomorrow we'll have another interview. We'll have a high schooler, Mr. Male Bulldog cornerback, Mr. Davis is going to be on here. But this is what we do. We love what we do. So continue to like, follow, share, follow, like, do what you got to do, man, because there's none other than what we do. And we got some new stuff coming out. I'll be dropping out some new things that's going to be coming out pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. And the Don, what you leaving the people with? Let's do it that way.
It's coming. It's coming. Watch out. Hey, let me tell y'all this. If you're always trying to be normal, you'll never realize how amazing you can be.
Woo. Well, I guess I'm going to just keep saying this. We are here for a good time. We are here for a good time, but we're also here for a long time. I got to tweak it.
Right.
God bless you guys. Thank you for everybody who's watching this, who's watched this. Thank you, Coach Brock Roberts, North Oldham County. God bless you guys.
It's the what? It's the what? It's the Will Show. It's the Will Show. Only thing I know, only thing for sure. It's the Will Show. It's the Will Show. Tune in every week. He gonna let you know. It's the what? It's the what? It's the Will Show. Only thing I know, only thing for sure. It's the Will Show. It's the Will Show. How's everything you wanna know? Keep up everything about sports, so you gon' catch his flow, never be low. Check it every day, cause he gonna upload. You gonna be happy, cause you call his flow. Talking, he gonna make you even wanna talk. Might even get inspired, take it for a walk. Listen to his voice, Yeah, you have a choice, but if you don't listen, you're gonna be lost. Catch your attention like Randy Moss. Share it like you really just did a toss. Kick your feet up, enjoy the show like you a boss. He's gonna make you happy so you don't worry. Like and subscribe and join the ride. Not from Alabama, but we stay roll tide. Shows every night, so you better slide. Hit the nutty zone to be on our side. It's the what, it's the what, it's the what.